I was getting a little groove in for a minute. Hello and welcome to the All About You show with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about and some things you don't. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Silky Smooth
and Daydream.
And as always, family, we'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we ask that you please join in on the conversation, where your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions help drive the conversation. Today, I'm going to first have my co-host do her segment on the artist addict.
Yes. We've created a new piece called The Artist Addict, and that's where I talk about different things, artists' works, but also inspirational moments to share with you guys. And I wanted to share a little something with you. I got this Essence magazine. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it features Michelle Obama. You know, she just wrote this beautiful book. I'll talk about that the next time. But anyway, she is featured on the cover. I think she looks amazing. She's got all this makeup and this beautiful hair, and man, she's looking like just a superstar. But what compelled me the most in here is a section. It's on page 104, and it's talking about life and goals. And you know how we have these New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff.
That lasts about a month.
Right, that lasts about a month. But this piece, I loved it, was about a woman who, her dream was to meet Oprah, and she did that. Well, anyway, the piece goes on to talk about declaring your dreams. And it says, and it's basically the author, John Osroff, is author of Inner Size. You know, heard of exercise, we actually lift weights and do cardio, all that kind of stuff. Well, he wrote a book called Inner Size, and he suggests to his readers that they declare their dreams, actually list them, write them down. And then the key thing is not only define your dreams, but also how you're going to do them and why. And he talks about different sections of the brain. He explains by activating both regions of the brain that says you're going to do something, and the why that actually motivates you to action.
Absolutely.
So it's not just to say, are you going to do something, and how? You need to have your reason why. Like, for instance, I've been studying Spanish for a year, and I'm about 40% fluent. And I want to give a hump because I'm at a place right now. So what I want to do is I want to go visit Mexico, and I don't want to stay at a resort or hotel. I want to live amongst the people for a few days, because that's how my cousin got fluent. She lived in Honduras for 2 years. I can't stay for 2 years, but I certainly can make. Well, I can't stay, right.
Well, the way things are going, you might. That might be your best bet.
Right.
Yeah,
but I have the reason why I want to do it is because I love the language. It's beautiful. I grew up around Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and Dominicans. They are my folks. And I teach writing, and I have a lot of students that struggle with English who are Spanish speakers. So I have my why. Okay. And so since I've been studying it for free on Duolingo, now I want to actually get amongst the people. And I also have a Mexican family.
Okay, well,
even though
is very important.
Right, so I do have the why, so that's my goal. And anyway, and then it talks about celebrating a small win. So when I was 3% fluent, that was a win. I was jumping up and down that I was 3% fluent. I was building this little vocabulary. And then it talks about getting a dream partner. And limits are out the door. No limits, guys. Don't set them. Limits are a curse word here.
Absolutely.
So that sort of thing. And also chart your success story. Write a blog, keep a journal. Those kinds of things kind of keep you on track. And then it talks about getting a dream partner.
Okay.
So, friends with a dream. So I'm just going to sum it up with that, and we're going to move on with the rest of our show.
But I think you're also going to incorporate, if I'm not mistaken, local authors and stuff like that eventually?
Yeah, eventually I'm going to incorporate local authors. Like the next time I want to talk about poetry writing, those kinds of things. So if you have pieces that you've written or you're working on and you'd like me to share it with our readers, hit us up on our Facebook page or our website and let me see your prose. Absolutely. So that I may celebrate your win with you.
Well, thank you for that, Sylvie. Okay, now the first part of our show, speaking of Facebook, we're going to talk about Facebook's 10-year challenge. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'm not a big Facebooker, as you guys have imagined, because I have not pursued any, carrying on the story or add to the story. I just don't get into that. But for the most part, when I saw that, immediately, I know.
You knew something was up.
You know me. I mean, guys, I look at things, I look at things both ways, and I do it quickly. I assess the 50% of the good side, and then I assess the 50, which is probably 65% of what's going to be the bad side, all at the same time. So upon seeing that, the first thing I thought was age.
What's the catch?
Aging recognition. As you age, if they have you at 2009, however old you were, and then they have you in 2019, that's your 10 years, they can pretty much put together an algorithm
Right.
to determine what you're going to look like 15 years from now. So, and it does serve a viable, good purpose at some point. But the first thing went through my mind, again, like the DNA testing.
Right.
We give up all our information.
It's just like with Snapchat. We've talked about this before with all the filters and everything that they have on there, the facial recognition. That was sold, the guy who developed that sold that and is, living his dream. Living his dream out and everything.
Why we give
But
all of our business.
but even on Snapchat, and you immediately see what they do with it because, even if you're not using the filters, there's still some sort of facial recognition. Because when I started letting my hair go natural, initially there's hair color on your Bitmoji where you can create your avatar, and it had certain features on there. Well, as you use it more, it adds more and more features, and I noticed it started adding highlights to my
these
hair
are the things
and
that
little things, and that
bothers
freaked me out.
guys
And I didn't have. I noticed also because it was more during the warmer weather, and so I have freckles, and during the warmer weather they come out more. Well, guess what my options were with my Bitmoji on Snapchat?
Get rid of the freckles.
Right. Different, whether they were more or less, a lighter speckle or whatever, but all those little things and even little phrases that I would say. Something would come up. Yeah. I'd talk about Vietnamese food. All of a sudden, I had all these Vietnamese options.
There's
fortune
listening
cookie and
at
chopsticks and all
every
these.
angle.
Well, you know what it does, because I notice even on Facebook, I love makeup. I'm a former makeup artist, and I'm learning about, and it's always sending me makeup for people of a certain age. And I said, did I ask you about that?
You don't have to.
Right.
That's the
Yeah,
part.
now you don't even have to search because, I get, just like any other computer, it's going to keep your history. What are you looking for? Let's try to send you some things based on that. You don't even actually have to search for anything. The fact that you have your phone right there while you're having a conversation,
I'm gonna tell you
and
something.
then look at the ads that get sponsored to you and pop up out of nowhere.
Immediately.
Right.
Yes, people, they are. Oh, it's weird. It's like they're listening because they are.
They are, and one of the things that they claim with the aging algorithm is that they felt like perhaps it could help someone if someone were kidnapped. The same old routine. They wouldn't have to have these people draw them.
They
like
always
the police.
throw the
Well, I'll tell you,
bleeding heart.
they
We're
have
here to
all
look
of
out
that.
for you, and it's for
This
your
is to
safety.
help
They
you, and
always
that's
throw that
exactly
out.
right. So I just don't think it's worthy to continue to pursue that, because again, Facebook claimed they had nothing to do with that. I'm telling you, it says here that Facebook claims that somebody else did that. Facebook denies having any hand in the 10-year challenge.
Okay.
This is a user-generated meme that went viral on its own.
Just out of nowhere. Huh? Just happened to come out of nowhere. Okay,
Facebook did not start this trend, and the meme uses photos that exist on Facebook. So I don't like Facebook because, first of all, you're already trying to match and speculate and postulate and put together. Well, Marion, if you know Daydream, then you have to know
so-and-so in this area.
Yeah, I don't like the association that they're trying to put together.
Right.
And trying to,
come on now. Facebook has updates every other day. So come on. Okay, they can say that they don't have anything to do with it. They're selling information. Come on.
And based on that, again, we're being lied to, people. But with that being said, I think we have to go to break. So we will be right back.
I'm going to do the live read.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't even do
You're listening to the Bridge of Light Radio Network. The conversation
I'm going to do that before
whatever.
Let me come in with the raise.
You are listening to
Short break.
Red. Share your opinion.
My face still looks dark on here. Yeah, it looks like a shadow. I'll probably need that one too.
Well, your hat may be colored.
But
no,
it
brings
looks
over that.
yeah. When they have both lights, it looks much better. Like all three lights.
Yeah,
I see are red lips.
But yeah, this bright lipstick. It looks good.
Yeah, it's called Lady Balls.
Okay.
I grew up here. Lady Balls.
Okay. When we come back to break, I'm gonna do a live commercial read.
All right. Well, we're coming back right now. So.
Okay. Live racing returns to Sam Houston Race Park in 2019. Come out to the track on Friday, January 25th for the opening day of live thoroughbred racing with the kickoff of our 25th anniversary season. We will be racing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is 50-cent beer from 6 to 9 p.m. Sunday is the Houston Racing Festival with a special first post time of 1 p.m. and almost $1 million stakes race purses. Wow. Also on Sunday, we have a free admission and are giving away $25,000 cash to one lucky fan. So don't miss out. Horse racing is back and better than ever at Sam Houston Race Park. And don't forget, you could win $25,000 on the 27th just by showing up. For more information, go to shrp.com.
I may have to go there for that.
Yes, I'm excited because that starts this Friday.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and you are listening to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we are about to go into our main subject of discussion, which is going to be Pimpology. Okay, let me just give you a brief overview. Okay, let me apologize in advance if this offends anyone because it's not meant for that purpose. However, I am going to move forward. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Right.
You know, as most of you know, prostitution is the world's oldest profession, so it stands to reason that pimping would be the second oldest profession. The word pimp is pretty much of unknown origin, and it was first used in English in the 1600s and used more in the 1700s as it became more popular to offer sexual arrangement opportunities for sexual intercourse. Now today I will use the word whore, guys, and not the colloquialism used by the kids, which is hoe. I will use the correct word because the Bible uses this terminology. Mm-hmm. Proverbs, Deuteronomy, Ezekiel, and Revelations is where you can find this word. Now, speaking of the Bible, I'm going to bring a point to you. I'm not going to finish it off. It's kind of going to be interactive, and you guys kind of let me know. You know, in Genesis 19, verse 5, the Bible speaks of two men visiting the city of Sodom. And Lot was in town when these men arrived, and so he invited them to come to his home, where he would allow them to, you know, get the dust off of them, wash their feet, and have a feast. And so they first declined, and he insisted, so they did go home with him. And the young men and the old men in the city of Sodom saw these two men walking home with Lot. Once they got in and got settled, these young and old men surrounded the home that Lot was in, and they started screaming, and somebody went to the door and basically told Lot that we want you to release the men that are in your house. And so Lot declined naturally, and they're like, you need to let us have sexual intercourse with these men. So, you know, Lot asked them, please don't do this, and I guess shut the door and went on, and they came back again. We want these men. You need to send them out because we would like to have sexual intercourse with them. And so Lot again begged, please don't do this. But in return, what he said was, I have 2 daughters. Oh. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. I don't know if that's pimping or not, but he offered off his daughters in sexual intercourse instead of these 2. They're supposed to be men of God.
I think they believe they were angels.
Yes, they did exactly believe that. But again, he offered his daughter. So again, you can kind of take that the way you want. But
and they refused. They didn't want the daughters.
They wanted the men.
They didn't want the. That's the thing. No, we don't want them.
Yeah, but they were offered. So offer puts it more in the status of what we're talking about here. So the verb pimp became more widely used, as I said, in the 17th century as it became a bigger business. Now in today's world, the pimp is a mystical celebrity. He's an enigma. He is bigger than life, and he is legend, and he is extremely narcissistic and even more egomaniacal. Fast forward to 21st century, pimping is now a bona fide profession, and its manual of instruction is this book right here, guys. It is actually called Pimpology. I didn't invent this term. This show is not to try and teach anyone how to pimp or to become a pimp, but rather utilize and benefit from the pimp mentality. Pimping is about control. It is about mastering another. It is about power. It is about managing other people and getting into their heads, much like a pimp does his girls, and also like R. Kelly just recently did with all these girls. Now, pimpology is the art of skillful management and manipulation. In reality, this show and this information may be offensive to some, but it is real, and if you open your eyes, you will see what is truly going on in the world. You will see that everyone falls in either one of these 2 categories. Either you are the pimp or you're the one being pimped? Donald Trump has pimped America, he's punked America, and he's played America. And you want to know who the best pimps are? The best pimps, guys, are the business tycoons, the power brokers, the politicians, the government, and in this case, the master pimp, your president, Donald Trump, number 45. The book Pimpology says that the biggest, baddest pimp in the game right now, and always has been, is Uncle Sam. Because come April 15th, everybody's
Everybody's
getting pimped, okay?
Everybody's paying up.
So, with that being said, let's talk about how Donald Trump, being the pimp and the manipulator that he is, has punked, and played the American people.
Let me acknowledge Annabelle Lee. Thank you for watching, and Bobby Lee. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Let me first say that I believe he pimped us into believing, first and foremost, that his bullying skills were a lot more proficient than they actually were,
Right.
and that Mexico would pay for this wall. Now, a pimp not only hypes you about himself, but he also hypes you about the game.
Right.
So everybody fell into that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got pimped and played, and
all his
punked.
supporters fell into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know,
so
not-
he got everybody all engaged in the game as well.
Right, absolutely. And right now, the House, the Senate Committee, Congress, they all answer to him.
Yes.
You know, and are who's getting played and punked and pimped more? Is it them for following through with it and going through with it, or
That's
us
why-
because we elected them who are doing,
Well, it's
you know,
still
what
part
he
of
asked, because they won't do anything at this point without him.
It's
The
still,
Republicans won't.
that's part of the pimp game. You cannot go outside of the person that is the manager or the handler or the manipulator,
Right.
or the one that's pimping you. So when you're the one being pimped, and as he said, in this world that we're working in and
Right.
living in,
And border
you
control
either
is his
wanna-
muscle.
huh?
And border control is his muscle.
Absolutely. You know, so he's just done so many things, and I also think that he has punked and played America in the fact that you have over 800,000 employees from the federal government that are not working. This shutdown is now 33 days old.
Right.
Okay? Now, I don't know if you know this, guys, but anytime, okay, the longest time that a shutdown has been in this country was 21 days. So we are now at 33 days. But there's something very significant about that, because if he has this shutdown beyond 30 days, then there is a furlough procedure that will allow him to lay these people off. It's called RIF, Reduction in Force. And see, a reduction in force is a procedure, as I said, that occurs after 30 days of a shutdown, where these people who used to work could either be called back in temporarily,
Mhm.
or either they can just be let go permanently. So I'm thinking he might be trying to do a RIF,
Yeah, clean house.
clean house, reduce
But
the force.
what's crazy is elected officials are government employees. They're still getting paid.
Oh, come on, that's them. That's the game. Well,
They're
the
still
pimps.
getting
They're
paid.
the
Yeah,
pimps.
Right. They're
That's what
still
trying-
getting paid. And now, one local politician, Dan Crenshaw, he voluntarily gave up his paycheck. He's like, while other federal employees are not getting paid, he's a federal employee, a government employee, then he's also not going to accept
Which
his
is very noble.
paycheck.
It's
Yeah,
a
that was very noble of
thing,
him.
right.
And you know, I feel like that really speaks volumes
About him.
about him.
Personally,
Right.
that's it.
Right.
Just him.
But the fact that all these elected officials are sending out letters and, you know, newsletters and things, go walk people's pets off or watch each
Oh my
other's
God.
children.
Yeah, I have
Why
some-
don't you do that?
I
Because
know.
it's easy for you to sit there and make your hobby and you know, your income and this and that and all kinds of BS that they're throwing out there. And it's very insulting.
It is.
Very insulting.
But this is who 45 is.
Not one time did they offer, hey, you know, let's give up our paycheck and try to
not
disperse
going
those
to.
funds to help people. No, not
So
one
what
time.
about food stamps and was that EDP or whatever, some
I
kind of
think
card,
those
EDP,
things are
whatever it
still
is.
going on. are they
As of
not?
right now,
think they're
yes.
gonna shut that down.
But it looks, if I remember correctly, February. So at the end of this month,
Next month. Then the next month.
well, I'm trying to recall
I
correctly.
thought they were getting something
I think they get some
now, and
Yes, they're getting their
February is
benefits now
over.
for January. February is where it's really starting to get
It's shaky,
sticky for a
right.
lot of people because it's if you are going to get any benefits in February, you're not going to get your full benefits. So either way, they're still taking a hit. Food stamps, housing, utilities, and it's not like the president is forcing the utility companies, hey, be more compassionate with these federal workers and what they're going through. No, he's not enforcing that. Now, remember, these companies and big corporations and banks were real quick to come to the government for a bailout to help them out.
Absolutely.
And that was done right away, no problem. But now that the people need their assistance, hey, help us out. This isn't our doing. That sucks. Well.
Yeah, but basically.
That's the response.
It's
a lot
like
of
it
people
sucks to be you.
Yeah. Oh, that
but
sucks.
I tell you all the time, America, the country is a corporation, and it is
Absolutely.
run just like it. And so that's what Donald Trump is doing. And so based on that, he has not invited, but insisted that 50,000 other federal employees return to work without pay. So
why doesn't he stop taking anything?
Well, he's not going to stop doing his thing. It's no different than he had Pelosi, not be able to fly out of the country to Afghanistan and giving up all the personal secrets of her travel, itinerary. He basically plays both ends against the middle. And I think somewhere he offered to give immigrants temporary relocation or residence or something if they were to go ahead and
he
give him
dangled it here.
5.7. I'm like, are you serious? You was just right. I mean, he's just punking you. It's like, and he has no remorse. He has no shame in his game, and he really doesn't care what the American people think.
Nope.
A couple of other people checked in. Noel Hutchinson is watching, and Peja.
Hey there, guys.
Peja is watching.
Give us your opinion on this.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to hear from everyone else and how they feel about getting punked and played.
I don't play that. I don't like that at all.
Because all these people, sheeple. Okay, all sheeple. And it's income tax return time.
That's what I told you.
And that's all everyone's worried about. Oh, but what about my tax return? These people need to get back to work, this and that. Okay, number one, people, the IRS is not a federal entity.
It is not, just like your federal
The
Reserve
IRS
is not.
Is a private corporation. It is a private business with all kinds of muscle, the muscle of the government. Yet they're sitting there saying, "Oh, well, you're not going to get your refund, people, because we need this wall," and they're trying to get people off of furlough who work for the IRS, saying, "Well, we're trying to get them to come back to work without pay." You're not a federal employee. If you work for the IRS, you are not a federal employee. Quit falling for this.
That and the Federal Reserve, who prints the money. Neither is
I'm
that
happy.
federal.
Take your time opening the IRS back up. If you're claiming it's shut down and everything, by all means, please do.
They're still
going to say
they
they
want
want their money.
And that's fine.
They say
And they can continue to wait for their money and everything else that goes on with it.
Right.
So I'm in no rush. Follow my taxes and everything else. Uncle Sam can wait on me. No problem.
Yeah, well, that's a different position to be in when it's you,
right?
Because again, we're one of the ones who are actually basically being pimped by this whole process. But again, he has no remorse. He has no concern whatsoever about how long. He said this could last. He's okay. However long it lasts.
Of course, he's cool with it. It doesn't affect him at all.
Ask him about a gallon of milk, and he couldn't tell you what it costs because he has no idea of living at this level.
No sense of reality.
No sense of reality whatsoever. And so, he doesn't care whether or not we're being pimped, and he knows it. It's like a joke to him.
Right.
And the guy who wrote
his family.
The guy who wrote the book Pimpology is a New York pimp, and I'm sure he probably knows Trump because he's in his book with all the New York guys, 50 Cent and
celebrities and
politicians.
Nelly,
and I mean he's like I said,
lining pockets and
come on. Trump mixed and mingled with porn stars and everything else.
He knows this guy, so it is a mentality. I'm not saying guys go out and learn how to be a pimp. That's not what I'm trying to suggest.
What we're telling you is learn the game, so you know what to look for and you know how not to get played. Game recognize game. Hello.
Okay, he has a few things here in this book, and I'll just give you two of them. And he says basically, and it seems like something that Trump actually lives by. He said, "Don't chase them, replace them." Don't chase them, replace them. And this is one of the 48
ladies,
rules.
I hope y'all listen to that.
Okay, this is 48, right? This is 48 rules of Pimpology. So again, basically it's just good laws for business. Now it's going to use the word whore. Now they're going to use a different word, but basically it's the same thing. And so I didn't want to read some of those on the air, but it actually uses that word. But for the most part, the game applies to everyday life.
Sure does.
You know, so it's not
Every situation.
every situation that you're in, either you are the one that is giving, supporting, and handing over the money, or you are the one that's being given the money.
Right. Everybody has a role.
That's it.
I guess with him, you need to figure out what your
Well, you know,
role
he's
is,
running this
or
country like he did.
determine the role that you want.
Now, rule number one, he says, get a name in the game. First, you have to come in and claim your, you know, get a name
Right.
in the game. I mean, come
Let
on.
people know you're here.
How real is that? This
Like-
is real. Get a name in the game, and you can ride that name for a long time. You know, because as you know, when he ran for president, he did not spend half the money
No.
that most of the other candidates did for
And he had the
marketing.
money.
And he had the money.
money.
But
didn't
he
have to
did
spend it.
stuff to manipulate and control.
Yeah,
The
got
media.
sponsors and
Got
everything
sponsors,
else.
exactly
Come on,
right.
think about it. It's like with Tina Turner. When she was going through her divorce with Ike, remember? She's like, I don't want any of that. My name. She's like, as long
That's
as I
all I
have my
want.
name,
I'm good.
I got
And he
everything
says,
I
I
need.
want the name Tina Turner. Remember, he didn't want to give it to her because
Uh-uh.
he gave her that name.
Well, he was pimping and beating her. So
He was
was
picking her and
pimping
beating her,
you
and
know.
so she decided, no, I want
And
everything is
That's-
in a name. Even Shakespeare talked about that.
your
The name is
reputation
important.
and all of that. And so he also has another one that says, ain't no love in this game. So, you know, but they use the S word. But again, there's a lot going on, and, you know, there's a way to get through it. And I think basically this mentality of just realizing that you need to probably fend for yourself, because again, he's offering people to wash windows, clean houses, drive Ubers. You know, not that there's anything wrong with any of these professions. That's not what I'm saying. But you're asking these people to be off from work, make okay with it by doing something incidental until I decide to reel you back in.
Right.
Until then, you stay out there.
Right.
So, you know, and you just leave
That's
people.
that's how you treat. You don't even treat a pet that way. That's how you treat an animal that you keep at your house.
Hey.
You know, oh, well, they're not acting right, so I stuck them outside. I'll bring them in, and you
Well,
know,
you know, he
I'm gonna wave at them from the window.
Well, he did put
You know.
children in cages at some point, so he is
Still
of
is.
that mentality. So, you
Still
know,
is.
again, he's somebody who sees the world only the way he has experienced it,
Right.
not dealing with
Well, because that's all he knows.
the masses of the people. You know?
That's all,
Exactly.
you know, just like people, you know, get outside of your circle. If you're constantly, you know, oh, I live in the Galleria and, you know, I don't know anything else outside of that radius. Get out. See what, there's a whole other world out
Broaden
there.
your horizons.
Broaden your horizons. Oh, wake up and see what else is going on around you. Not just what, you know, what's in your little circle here.
Well, you know, people don't want to know, and so a lot of people see what he's doing, and I think if he were to run for office again, he might just end up getting support.
Oh, God,
You know,
not
because,
again.
you know, this past weekend they had an event in D.C., I think, with the Native Indians.
Uh-huh.
And some young teenagers started, you know, kind of
harassing them when they
harassing
got
them.
invited
But
to the
but see,
White House.
Well, have y'all seen the whole
he
video?
encourages this. I haven't seen the whole video.
Okay, so that's not what happened. So I saw for most of the video in its entirety. Of course, you know, I wasn't there from the very beginning. But what it is that group of that Catholic school or that private school that was there. They were there. There was some new Black Israelite Muslims or something. That group was there also. They then started exchanging words with the school group, or you know, somehow those two started interacting. Okay, from one side to the other. The Native American group happened to also be there. They saw what was going on, and they literally went into the middle of it, trying to disperse it, because what they were playing, the drums and the song, was actually a prayer song of peace and love.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what they were doing that for. But as you know, they went in, then the crowd started coming in
well.
closer, and so then everything just kind of spiraled out of control from there. But you know, you have the kids saying, "Oh, I feared for my life. He singled me out for no reason, this and that," and you see in the longer version of the video where the Native American is actually the group was literally coming in between both groups, like, okay, trying to play mediator.
Yeah.
And how the crowd just kind of gathers in closer around them, and he didn't single anybody out. That's just happened where he happened to stop and kept trying to move over, and then you're stuck. Just like when you're in a big crowd,
A concert.
you can only move so
Yeah,
far,
absolutely.
Right.
you know? So it's like, well, you know, you bumped into me. It wasn't on purpose. I just got 20 other people on this side of me who pushed into me. And so, you know,
They
with the
pushed me, and
momentum,
then I bumped into
you know,
right.
so that's more of what happened. But at the same time, how truly innocent was that group of kids? Because they have PR people.
Absolutely.
And they also showed
Do
other
they
videos.
really?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, see, that goes to show. It's all about, well, that's straight
Yes,
pimping.
it is an all white.
That's straight
An
pimping.
all white private school.
Yeah, okay.
And they make no secret about it. They boast about it. And there's also, you'll see where they're at one of their games, a basketball game.
And they're aggressive with it.
And they're in all blackface because they're playing a black team.
Well, see, again,
But-
45 has allowed this to
Encouraged
manifest,
it.
and it has
Encouraged it.
encouraged it.
He added fuel to that fire,
He
that's for
added
sure.
fuel,
Because
yeah.
it's
Again,
it was never gone away. It was just
it was dormant, but it was pushed down
Quiet.
beneath the
Yeah.
surface to
Right.
where it was quiet and everybody could kind of work together,
Yeah.
you know, and live.
And now that he's saying you don't have to work together, say whatever you want to these people, behave the way you want to.
Mhm.
Well, that's what he's showing, and,
that's
so
okay,
and so
sure.
here we are. So I just don't think that the federal government is going to be at work anytime soon.
not at all,
But I
people.
do
I'm
think
afraid
he is
of that.
going. There will be a rift. In fact, that there will be some people cut off, and I do know a lot of the contract workers that work with the federal government, and those jobs, there's so much is fired.
Right.
They don't
Right.
get.
They lost their
They lost their
contracts.
contract.
They're-
They
Government
lost them,
contracts, yeah.
So again, I think he's going to clean house, and he's using this. You know, and I really don't know if this is really about the wall. I
No,
just don't.
it's
always
not. That's
about
just
something else.
It's
that's,
another. It's another.
it's
deflector.
straight about money.
Well,
That's all it
always the
is. And so that way he can sit there and just continue to be so grandiose. So, oh, I did this, I did that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he just straight out lies.
And then again,
You know?
he expounds on those lies.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And there was a lady who worked very closely with him. I actually posted it onto our Facebook page. But she was interviewed and she worked very closely with him for many years. Helped build, Trump Towers and that type of thing. So it was already unheard of for a female to be in the construction business, especially at that
I'm
time.
against y'all, okay?
Especially at that
Yeah,
time. And then to be basically just two people down from Trump every single day. And she said he was always like that, except now it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That
he has
she
the
said
platform.
she has a personal relationship with him, and then she sees how he is, and so she's having to kind of distance herself from what their relationship was like then,
Yeah.
and how that Donald was at the time, and compared to what he is now. And she basically says she has no words. She just
Is she basically saying that he's worse? Is there such a thing? Because I think he's always been vile. He's always
No.
been.
now it's
Well, it's
complete
powerful. It's
complete
got a lot of
lack
power.
of respect for people. She
Yeah.
said at least before it was he
Minimum
tried.
respect. He tried.
He
Right.
made an effort.
Well,
Just now
we've given him everything to play with. He doesn't have to respect us because he won the presidency even after he told us everything he told us.
Yeah.
Didn't like women, didn't like Mexicans, didn't like.
and he made no secret of
They
it.
made no secret
didn't
about
like-
it,
right.
you know. And
Yeah,
he,
so people can't sit there and be like, oh, well, we didn't know he was going to be. We didn't expect. Yes, you
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Yes,
He
you
straight
did.
up told you to your face.
When people tell you
Everywhere.
who they are,
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up. This is how I am. This is what I am. And y'all were like, you continue to make excuses for him.
well, doesn't he also have, or I know he was starting to deal with Putin on basically, this was before his presidency, to build a Trump Tower in Moscow.
right?
Is that still?
And lo and behold, let's look at all the Russian immigrants
I know.
who are pregnant and having their babies here
Here.
in U.S. soil. Where do they stay at?
Trump Tower?
Yes, ma'am. In his buildings,
Well, even when he goes out of town, and
full
they're
of
golfing,
pregnant
everything-
Russian immigrants.
And he's the main one saying he did not want immigrants here having babies. The Mexicans, he didn't want them coming across the
didn't want
border to have a
Mexicans and
baby.
black folks.
He
To have
didn't
a
want
baby.
brown.
You can be
He
Russian.
didn't
You
want
didn't
brown.
want brown.
He didn't
and
want
black
any
folks.
shade of brown.
Well, I
Was
guess
what it
you know,
was.
When you're doing the
Nobody
pimper,
with a tent.
you're doing the pimper thing, you get to pick your own stable. So I
Right.
guess that's basically what he's doing.
Hello, Mary Castillo. She's checking in.
Hey,
Also,
Mom.
Marvin Smith. Hello, and thank you for checking
Do
in.
you think? I do believe this now naturally it takes about 25 billion to build a wall, but 5.7. I think he has a cut in that.
Absolutely, because
And I think that's
we
why
kind of hit on
he's-
that on the last show. Was if you look at the company, okay, first of all, everything that he's put into play, all these excessive tariffs for companies, certain type of companies, what can and cannot come in and out, and the material that he wants for this wall that he claims the Democrats asked for, okay, because now
Do
he's
you
throwing
believe
that out
he,
there.
He lied.
All right.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. So that material can only be provided by a certain company overseas.
that he works with.
What
probably.
a shocker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you know,
Yes,
again,
absolutely.
we know that's the first law of pimping, get paid first. That's the first law of Pimpology, get paid first. Everybody else?
Yep.
You get it when you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, they
Get
even
your-
teach you that at the strip club.
Get your money off the top.
Come on,
That-
they even
well, the
teach you
strip
that
club,
at the
that's
strip
still the-
club. Even then, it's so many times the chicks would get so upset and he owes me this, he didn't da 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 da. So, and the first thing that's out of the manager's mouth is, "Did you get your money ahead of time?" Well,
That is
no,
the-
he says give it to you
That is
later.
the first law of pimping, get paid first.
They
You
said
know
get
that.
your money
Yeah,
ahead
get your
of
pay
time.
off the top.
Absolutely.
And that's what he's doing. And that's why I think he's trying to push this, 5.7 billion.
When you buy a house, it's the same thing. You're not just, oh, were they promised to give me this house, this and that? Didn't they have, you had to put down a down payment or you
Yeah.
had to get that pre-approved loan or sign paperwork.
See,
It wasn't just, okay, here, we'll take care of everything else later.
Oh no! See, with me, you have to put
Everything's-
down at least $60,000 before I even think about getting ready to get started.
Right.
Oh, before you think
For me to,
about
Before I think
for
about
me to grab
getting
my
ready to get
pen
ready.
to
Yeah,
say,
right.
hey, okay, well, let's talk.
Yeah, that's 60,000.
Yeah.
60.
Come
my
on,
business,
6-0.
60,000. I sell luxury homes, so like
6-0
I need at least
with
10%
3
of what the
commas.
house is
I
costing.
mean, 3 zeros behind the
So
comma.
if you build an $800,000 house, you bringing me $8,000, and that's before I get anything done.
right before you even
That's
think
just
about
to
it.
say, hey.
That lets me know you're serious in the game.
Absolutely.
That's what that means.
Oh,
So it's straight pimp. I mean, there are times, guys, when the roles change.
and the gender change.
And,
OMG, she
there are
might be the
times
pimp.
when you may be the pimp, and
Hey.
you may
Right.
pimp somebody, play somebody else, or punk somebody else. But again, we're talking about somebody that's doing
Shout
all
out
of
to all
us.
you lady bosses out there.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I had a couple friend girls try to pimp me out,
What?
and I know they got paid. I know they got paid.
What
They
did
tried to pimp me out.
what did this go through? I mean,
Well,
okay,
no,
the
it
only
didn't
time-
go. No, it didn't go through.
But they got paid in advance on.
right, but both
Possibility.
of them in each case, they were trying to pimp me out to women.
Oh, wow.
And it fell through. Well, I didn't realize it till afterwards. I'm like, that's no good. How dare she?
It happens all the
pimp me,
time.
pimp me out.
It
Two
happens to
different friends
Parents with their children.
did that to me.
But that's not a true
Tried to
friend.
pimp me out. I
No.
guess they feel like I wouldn't be your friend unless I pimped you out.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what group that is.
I don't know.
That's
No,
group
that's
4.
not a true friend. Yeah,
That's
no.
group 4.
Yeah.
That's somebody you come
Yeah,
deal
two
with
of
that.
it. Two different friends tried to pimp me out.
Wow. Again, like I said, it happens on a daily basis, and it's what we deal with when we go to work. It's what we deal with out here. Who bogards? Back east we have a saying because of Humphrey Bogart. When somebody just bullied their way into something, it's called bogarting. So
Oh, that's where it came from, Humphrey
Humphrey
Bogart.
Bogart.
Yeah, we
You
say
didn't
that
know
a
that?
lot in New York. I didn't know it came from him. That's how
Just
you
ask
change
me.
lanes in New York.
you just bogard. That's exactly right. So that's why I know the Trump mentality. And again, you have to benefit from the mentality that pimps have. Not so much their actualized mannerisms and how they do things, but basically just the thought process. Stay in the game, stay ahead of the game, get
Right.
paid first. I mean, all that makes sense to me. I think I gotta go to break, right? Okay, so I'm getting that look. Yeah, right back.
Yes.
You're listening
You right,
to
though.
the
You on
Bridge of
point.
Light Radio
Am I
Network,
good?
You on
the
point.
conversation
You on point with that,
to real change.
So
I
he
believe
did
that
give the
too.
look.
Yeah.
I believe
You
that.
are listening to The Bridge. Share your opinion.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I think that's why a lot of people admire pimps though, because of that mentality that they have.
They got a kick
not,
ass
not
with-
for the fact that they control women.
No,
and
it's
abuse
they
them
have
and
an
everything
edge.
like
They got an
that. Yeah, it's
edge.
that
They got
mentality.
this.
I like in the fact and the ability to actually be able to control a woman.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
not the fact
And
that
not-
you can do the
and-
game.
And
my
even
friend
my
is
two
the last
friend girls
thing
are like
to
that.
do.
They have an edge. I mean, really trying to pimp me out, set me up.
I guess we can talk about this on air, but in high school,
Make sure you-
I know that
you come
now.
back to it.
Yeah, I know that now. But you're young and dumb. It's like, oh, so and so said, you cool. This, oh, you're so okay. And I didn't know what they meant with the lingo. It's just like, all right,
30
I'm in my
seconds.
own world type thing, and yeah. But now it's like, oh, that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, you don't know.
Wow.
Don't forget, it's coming back with your segment.
But Chico,
Mhm.
sure.
She got to work. She got to work.
10 seconds.
Yeah, that light does help. Cause oh god, I was just red lips over here.
I know, right?
That's all I saw. They look huge.
Like you said, they were balls.
The lady walls, honey. That's what they are.
Okay, we got another couple minutes. We got to keep me going. We don't have anything that y'all brought into place. Okay, I guess I'm back.
We are back. Welcome back, everyone who's been listening for this week's edition of Chica Talk.
Okay.
To go with our topic, Pimpology, pimped, punked, and played. I kind of wanted to bring some attention to an independent film, or fairly independent film. It's Pimp movie.
Yeah.
Okay, this came out November of 2018, so it's still fairly new. And the writer director is Christine Krokos, with the executive director producer being Lee Daniels. The writer director, her claim to fame is she's the ex-girlfriend of Scary Spice, Melanie Brown, from the Spice Girls.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to just kind of bring attention to that movie because the movie is about a female who was raised by her pimp father and how she put everything
It's
into
a
play.
mentality.
And the mentality
and
and basically her being a pimp. Okay, it's a female pimp. So like you were saying, Silky, yeah, females.
Yeah.
It's if anything, I think females are better at it.
Well-
Can be better at it. If especially when it comes to other
See,
females.
that would make
Females
we're
can pimp men.
scandalous, and we can do all that.
We
But
can
my-
do that
my
with no
question
problem.
becomes-
Men, you really are getting pimped. You just
I thought about it setting up a business.
You
In
really
that
are.
case- in that case,
you
it
paying
makes-
bills that ain't yours. Okay.
Support the kids that may not be yours.
When the phone rings and it's late, but someone needs you to come to their rescue, do you go out there and do it?
Yeah,
You're
you do
being
it.
pimped, honey.
I know. Like I said, the role changes at
Pimped
any
it.
given time.
It comes in different shapes and forms, but anyway, that's why I wanted to kind of bring light because it followed along with that, and the fact that it's also a female writer and director. And there's been a lot of mixed reviews. There's been people who love it, love
What
the
are some of
fact.
the things that they're saying? Because my
Well,
first question would have been, what's the difference? Well, in my mind, I know there's a difference in being a pimp
Mhm.
and being a madam. Those are two different things, or maybe there's just
Are
two
they?
different levels. Obviously, they are. One is
I
pimp
just
and one
thought
is
the
madam.
name that the one was I thought it was just a masculine and a feminine
Well,
name.
this girl Kiki is playing she's a woman, so she's playing that
Her
woman.
father
she's
was a
going as
pimp.
So,
So
Right.
she's a female
Right.
who was raised with that male pimp mentality.
from the
Okay,
male
so
side,
she's got the
she's
male
a pimp,
perspective.
right? So
She's
that
got
takes her
that
there.
Ahead of the
Which
she's out ahead of the game
The
because
madam
she's got that.
side is the side that plays the
female.
female side.
All
so
female.
yeah, so it's all
Oh, I
it's all
see.
alpha. Yeah,
Yeah, it's in. Then I guess it also comes
So
into
she's got the
play.
lady boss.
Well,
Yes.
my stable is the street versus my stable is high end escorts who get sent
see,
out.
that's madam. That's a totally
Madam,
different thing.
right?
But
So
it's-
then it becomes economics.
Right.
Okay, your clientele, who you're playing to.
absolutely.
But I mean, come on now. You've got politicians and celebrities who are mixing with porn stars, so
Well,
they
they
deal
all
with
have,
pimps.
you
They
know.
can't say, oh, well, they're escorts. No, they're not high class at all.
no,
Okay.
not at all.
But that's why like I said, that's why I wanted to bring light to it because it is a female writer and director. She's in a big role, but people either loved it and said, wow, to see a female pimp and to see that side of it. But a lot of other people have an issue. They're saying it exploits,
Right.
it's a black exploitation type film.
It follows the stereotypical role.
Right.
Now, again, like I said, I'm not pushing being a pimp. I'm just pushing or advocating more so the mentality, which is a hell of a good control mechanism. I mean, it is what it is.
Right. It's
And not so much the actions of what they do, but just the fact of how well they play the game. Look at how your president, look at how well he's pimped everybody. Punked
If you're a
everybody
pimp-
and played everybody.
Call us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Give us a call here at the studio, 713-789-0096. We know you're out there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call any
You don't have to,
names
you don't have to
out.
say you are. Leon Fogel, thank you for checking in. Alma Espinosa and Renee Cantu.
Oh,
Hi,
wow,
Renee.
Oh my gosh, how are
For
you?
checking in. Alma. That's my sister.
Man.
What?
So anyway, I just
It gets, we really just have to.
I want some pimps to call in. And tell us. You don't have to say your name. Just say hello. I'm a pimp. What can I say?
Well, see,
it's my
that's
side
again,
job.
you're talking about the actual act itself of being a pimp.
right.
That's not what I'm actually
It's just
advocating. I'm
right.
I'm more advocating for us as people, as American people, to take control of our lives. See, I've always believed
In the way that a pimp does.
the main thing you need to be able to take care of and be in control of is oneself. That is the first thing. And a pimp has mastered control of himself, not only himself,
Right.
but the minds and the control factor of other women. Same thing with R. Kelly. It's the same.
Right.
He has a way of doing the exact same thing.
Right. It all started with mind control. They get
That's it.
All the females said that. It's like he just had a way of getting in your head. And with a pimp, violence is the last resort.
Oh, they don't do anything like that. No.
You know, they're not going to
Another
raise their
one of
hand
his-
because think about it. Think
another
about
one of
how
his
they're
rules.
dressed. Think about how they're dressed. It's their appearance.
They
You
got
see
$2,000
someone,
suits
they're
on.
suave. They got some
Swag.
finesse to them. Yes, absolutely. You know, the fat suits, the way they carry themselves, the way they handle their women in public. Okay, because it's not, you know, pimp ain't gonna handle you like this.
Right.
No.
You know, he's gonna handle you like this with a soft tone. It's just like whenever when your parents are getting mad at you, when you're getting fussed at, they do all the yelling, and all of a sudden you get that chill, and you know it's serious. When they go from here, and they go from here, and we're gonna talk about this.
And then
later.
when they call your full name.
Absolutely.
Oh
gosh.
yeah.
Absolutely. So you know, there's a lot of finesse.
There's a lot of finesse and a lot of elegance there. It's not
Yes.
the same thing. He also says in one of
Absolutely.
his laws, when pimping began, friendships end.
Hmm.
Another law of business.
I'm not
Well,
friends with
that's
those
with any
two women.
business.
That I told you, the two different women
But
friends
see
that try to pimp me out.
a lot
We
of
are no
that
longer
stuff
friends.
is right. And see,
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot of the stuff as far as pimpology, if you're in the game, whether it's the pimping game, whether it's the dope game, if it's a corporate game that you're running, if you're running firearms, whatever, you need to know what's going on. There's always a certain type of finesse to that, because you know, a more successful dope dealer, pimp, whoever, they're not going to be all that loud with it and look here and look there. They're going to look like everybody else,
They have
okay?
to.
But they're going to carry themselves a certain way, and everyone says the same thing. I never would have thought. They just didn't seem that type. Hello,
That's the game. That's the game
It's the
right
game.
there. Not
They're
to
not
that's
supposed to
how
seem
they
like that
manipulate
type.
you. That's how they get into your head. You always need to know what the other side is doing, what the other
And
side
that's
is
the head of the
thinking.
game. And so he also says here for law number 9, learn the rules. Business is the art of extracting money from another man's pocket without resorting to violence. And I said that because
Right, you
it's
want
what
them
you
to give it
said.
to you. You don't want to seem suspicious. You want them to give it
But
to
see,
you.
our
But you're in
president
the
is
Keep
light.
it
getting real
low-key.
frustrated. Our president is getting real frustrated now because this is going on.
Oh
Um,
yeah, this government shutdown was a
He's
temper
mad.
tantrum.
Yeah,
Because
this
he
is
didn't get
major.
his way, right? And you know, there's also another video that we posted with one of the with a congressman, a senator, who went out and said, look, he initially asked for 1.6 billion, and guess what we did? We gave it to him. They went ahead and gave it to him, and after they did that, then he comes back and says, no, I need 5.7. But he could never, you know, they're like, okay, well, show us how this money is going to be used and allocated. Where is it going to go? He would never do it. He finally gave them what was going to happen with the 1.6. Okay, but what
And they
about,
offered-
but still throwing a temper tantrum because he's not getting the rest of the other 4 billion. You know, so,
It's all the level on which the game is played.
right. So it's just a temper tantrum because, you know, they
But
gave
he-
an
but-
inch.
But it's his. It's
He
his,
asked for an inch. They gave an inch, and now he's asking
now
for,
he's what? Mm-hmm.
you know,
Asking for 10 miles. In my opinion.
absolutely. And now he's mad because they didn't say, "Oh, okay," like
Yeah.
they did before, because they didn't bow down to him the way they initially
Expected,
did.
yeah.
They said the Speaker of the House had come up with some other remedy for this. I didn't get a chance to read it. I was on grandma duty earlier.
Okay.
But basically, I guess they're trying to come up with ways to resolve this issue because it's hurting a lot of Americans. It's hurting all of us.
That's right.
I got my little Fidelity thing. I didn't even open it today. I was too. I'm afraid of what it would look like with the stock market being such that it is.
Well,
I
I-
didn't even open it.
See,
Yeah,
and
I
I told you,
don't
we
even-
had
I'll do
a
this
private
glass of
conversation,
wine.
yeah,
After a glass
about
of
that,
wine,
and
I'll open
that's
it.
the first thing I thought about when they
You
said
know?
government shutdown. The first thing I started doing was, let me start looking at my investments and see what I need to do, because I'm not going to be one of those people who has no idea what my future is going to look like because I'm staring at now a useless piece of paper with
That's
numbers
it.
that mean
That's
nothing.
It. That's exactly
Because
right.
with the government unstable the way that it is, do you understand how much of a target that we are?
Oh,
We're completely unstable.
major.
So we were a
major
laughing stock of the
pimping.
world before this happened.
yeah.
Imagine
We're-
now.
Oh, they're on the
Joe.
floor. They're really
We're
on the
Joe.
floor.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not. I refuse to have a piece of paper that a month ago said,
That's invalid.
I'm doing well financially and you're stable, and now it's just a piece of paper with a bunch of numbers that mean nothing because I have full faith in the government. No, I don't.
Yeah. See,
I have full faith in one man, and that is the man upstairs.
Absolutely.
After that,
Trish Nail, thank you for watching. I see you there.
I don't know. Again, pretty soon we're going to end up dealing
Checking
with, Trump on this issue. But I'm hoping nobody gives in. But he has already said that he will not bend. So we've got to come
everybody's
with an
standing
alternate
there
way in
with
which
their-
to do this.
Right.
But until then, again, we have just been played, and
I'm curious to know because we heard Silky's story about how she, a so-called friend was trying to pimp.
two different friends, and I
Two
thought
so-called
I
friends
had.
were trying to pimp her out. Do you have anything? OMG, was there ever a moment where you were like, hey, they tried to pimp me, play me, this and that?
no, I don't.
Because
the pimp thing.
Maybe
no.
it was so subtle you didn't notice.
No, I'm pretty smart cookie. No, if anything, I think we've all have been victim to being played.
Absolutely.
So I acknowledge that, and again, like I said, because I am in the world here, and the world right now is under Trump's, control,
Right.
and so I've been pimped here. So I don't recall ever being pimped out by. No, you can't do that. If anything, I would be the madam. I would have the girls.
Well, in my case,
That's why I said that, because see,
in my case, it was
you
under
gotta
the guise of
understand.
friendship. You go over a friend's house, invitation for dinner, and the setup was in. You don't realize, just like Jesus.
See, and for me, we were talking about this when we went off off air for break. That I realized, hey, someone tried to pimp me in high school. I just didn't realize that's what they were doing. Fortunately, my naivety worked in my favor.
Because you did.
Because I didn't, I didn't get what was going on or what was trying to go on, and so I just blew everything off. And
tried
because
to to a man.
Well, okay, so this guy I liked in high school, right? Evidently went and told his friends, hey, she's cool, this and that, she's down, whatever. And so I would have guys in the hallway, like, hey, we heard, you're really cool. Okay, hey, hey, all right,
Goofball.
Yeah. And then now it's like as you get older, you start hearing lingo and phrases, and it's like, oh.
And you know what it means.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what happened. Yeah.
But guys, basically, I think we pretty much have to go. But I want you to, again, kind of give thought to how you can take advantage and be in that position. I mean, not of other people, but just of your own situation. But if there's a situation, I think we need to control it.
Right, just
I mean,
to
that's
be
what I
ahead
go
of the
for.
game, people. It's not because you're trying to do anything wrong or pimp somebody and get over on someone. It's so that way when someone's trying to get over on you.
When somebody's trying to pimp you. But I
know?
want you to remember something. If you don't watch the news or read the papers, then you are uninformed.
Correct.
If you do watch the news and you do read the papers, then you are being misinformed. So at that point, guys, you need to decide where you fit in. Is that uninformed, misinformed, or just need to know? So that's what we do here at All About You, is to try to give you that information.
Right.
Silky, in closing for gratitude?
Just the practices of gratitude I'll share with you. Beginning to tune into even the minutest feelings of gratitude softens us. If we begin to acknowledge these moments and cherish them, then no matter how fleeting and tiny this good heart may seem, it will gradually, at its own speed, expand.
All right.
Practices of gratitude.
Amen. Until next week, I think we may talk to you about the covert executions. I'm fascinated with military. I'm fascinated with military tribunal.
Let's go for
We're
it.
And
talk
thank
about
you
the
everyone who accepted my invitation and our invitations and tuned in to
Continue the conversation on Facebook and also on our website and Twitter. We'll see you next week
On the radio.
on the radio.
I had it loaded up for you. I had the song ready for you.